All right, so you're ready to shed those extra pounds, looking for a little edge in your weight loss journey.
Hmm. Sounds familiar.
We hear ya. You've sent us a whole mountain of articles on weight loss supplements.
Oh, yeah. Tons of information out there.
It's a real jungle out there, isn't it?
It can be, definitely.
So we're going to dive deep into this world today, try to figure out
Help you cut through the noise.
exactly how to choose the absolute best supplement to reach your fat loss goals.
That's the key. The
That's-
best one, right?
That's what we're after. But before we even get into the specifics, like the fancy ingredients and all that,
Yeah, let's break it down.
what are these things? What are weight loss supplements supposed to do?
Right. What are they all about?
Yeah.
So essentially, at their core, they're products, right?
Okay.
And they're designed to, they claim to support weight loss through all sorts of different mechanisms. Some say they boost metabolism.
Okay.
Some focus on burning fat specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Others work by trying to curb your appetite. Lots of different approaches.
So it's like they're trying to tackle it from different angles.
Exactly, yeah.
But I think it's important to emphasize right off the bat,
Absolutely.
this isn't a magic pill situation.
No magic bullet here.
Right.
No. Supplements are meant to complement a healthy lifestyle. They're not a replacement for putting in the work.
So they can enhance what you're already doing.
Exactly. You're still going to need to focus on diet and exercise.
Yeah.
Those are the cornerstones, really.
Foundation.
Yeah, if you want sustainable weight loss.
So it's like a booster, not the whole engine.
That's a great way to put it.
Now let's talk about, we're looking at this whole wall of supplements.
So many choices.
How do we even begin to choose? What are we looking for?
Yeah, what are the key factors here?
Give us the secrets.
All right, well, one of the most important things right off the bat is ingredient quality.
Okay.
You want to choose supplements with natural ingredients.
So we're not just grabbing any random bottle.
No, you got to look closely. And not just natural, but clinically backed.
Clinically backed, so there's research behind it.
Exactly. We're not talking about some mysterious concoction you found in the back of a health food store. Look for things that have actually been studied and shown to be effective.
Okay, so we're looking for substance, not just hype.
Precisely.
Now, one of the articles you sent over mentioned green tea extract.
Oh, yeah. Green tea's interesting.
And, I know green tea is considered healthy in general, but what makes it such a good ingredient for a weight loss supplement? Why is it in there?
Well, green tea extract is loaded with these things called catechins.
Catechins, okay.
They're a type of antioxidant.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this study, it was published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. It found that these green tea catechins can really increase how much fat your body burns, especially when you're exercising.
Wow, so it's like it actually helps your body become more efficient at burning fat.
It kind of kicks things into gear.
That's pretty cool. Now, speaking of research, how important is it to look for, not just research on individual ingredients, but on the entire supplement itself?
It's super important. You don't want to just fall for those flashy marketing claims, right?
Right. Got to see the evidence.
Look for studies, solid scientific studies that show that the whole supplement actually does what it claims to do.
Okay, so we're doing our homework, being informed consumers. Now, another big thing that comes to mind is safety.
Oh, absolutely. Safety is huge.
Right. What are some things we should be looking out for? Potential side effects, anything like that?
Yeah, so always research the potential side effects of a supplement. Especially, this is really key, if you have any pre-existing conditions.
Oh, right. Like if you're on medication or have a particular health concern.
Exactly. Some supplements might interact with medications you're taking, or they could have unintended effects.
So it's kind of like anything else, really. You want to make sure it's right for you individually.
Yeah, you got to do your due diligence. Be aware of those risks.
Now, what about customer reviews? Do
Yeah.
those hold any weight?
They can actually be pretty valuable, those customer reviews.
Yeah.
I would say look for patterns in the reviews.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like are people consistently saying, this is amazing, it really works, or are there a bunch of complaints about side effects?
Yeah.
You can learn a lot from what other people are experiencing.
So it's like gathering intel from multiple sources, not just relying on one thing.
Yeah, get the full picture.
Okay, now for the fun part.
Let's get to the good stuff.
Let's talk about specific ingredients.
The stars of the show.
What are some of the things that are known to be helpful for weight loss? What should we be looking for on those labels?
All right, so we already touched on green tea extract.
Right, our friend green tea.
Another big one you'll see a lot is caffeine.
Oh, caffeine. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a stimulant, right?
Yep. Hey.
So it can boost your energy levels. And that, in turn, can bunk up your metabolism. So you end up burning more calories throughout the day.
So it's like it gives you that extra pep in your step, and that translates to more calories burned. Now, caffeine seems like it's everywhere these days. Is there a specific type or form of caffeine that's particularly effective for weight loss?
Not necessarily. It's more about the dosage, how much caffeine is in there,
Okay.
and how it's combined with other ingredients. Like some supplements pair caffeine with these other compounds that are thermogenic.
Thermogenic, what does that mean?
Basically, it means they increase heat production in your body.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and that can further enhance how many calories you burn.
So it's like they're working together to create this kind of fat-burning synergy.
Exactly. 1 plus 1 equals 3.
That's cool. What other interesting ingredients did we come across in our research?
Well, one you'll see a lot is Garcinia cambogia.
Garcinia cambogia. That sounds exotic.
It is, actually. It's this tropical fruit, and it contains this thing called hydroxycitric acid, or HCA.
HEA.
All right. And some studies suggest that HCA can inhibit an enzyme that's involved in how your body makes fat.
Oh, so it's like blocking fat production at the source?
Kind of, yeah. And there's some evidence that it might also help reduce appetite, but the research is still a bit mixed on that one.
So more research is needed, but it shows some promise.
Definitely.
What else?
Another one is CLA, conjugated linoleic acid. It's a fatty acid.
Okay, so we're talking about good fats here.
Yeah, this one's a good guy. And it's interesting because it's been shown to help with fat reduction, and some studies even suggest it could boost muscle growth.
So it's kind of a 2-for-1.
Exactly. So you'll often see it in supplements that are marketed for both weight loss and fitness goals.
I can see why that would be popular.
Definitely. And then there's glucomannan.
Glucomannan. All right, another new one for me.
This one's a type of fiber, and it's pretty cool how it works. It absorbs water in your gut,
Interesting.
and when it does that, it expands, making you feel fuller.
Oh, so it's like it's taking up space in your stomach, sending a signal to your brain that you're full.
Exactly. It can be really helpful for managing appetite and keeping those portion sizes in check.
So for people who struggle with overeating, that could be a game changer.
It can definitely make a difference.
So we've talked about some of the good guys,
The
the ingredients that are potentially going to help us on our weight loss journey.
heroes of the story.
Exactly. But what about the other side of the coin?
Ah, the villains.
Yeah. Are there ingredients that we should be avoiding? What are the red flags?
Definitely. Just as important to know what to steer clear of. One major category you want to watch out for is synthetic chemicals.
Synthetic chemicals. Okay, so these are like artificial additives.
Yeah, things that aren't naturally found in foods. And they might have some downsides, some adverse health effects that we don't fully understand yet.
So they're kind of unpredictable in how they might affect our bodies.
Yeah, there could be long-term consequences we're not even aware of yet.
Can you give us some specific examples of synthetic chemicals we might find in supplements?
Sure, some artificial sweeteners fall into this category,
Oh.
and also certain preservatives. They might make the supplement taste better or last longer on the shelf.
Right.
But they could be messing with your metabolism or your hormone balance in ways we're just starting to understand.
So it's like a trade-off short-term gain for potential long-term problems.
Exactly. It's not worth the risk.
Okay, so synthetic chemicals are a no-go. What was that other category you mentioned?
The other one to watch out for is excessive stimulants.
Stimulants. So we talked about caffeine earlier.
Right, and caffeine in moderate amounts can actually be beneficial. It can boost your energy and metabolism like we discussed.
Right, it's all about that balance.
Exactly. But if you go overboard with stimulants, it can backfire.
How so?
Well, too much stimulation can lead to anxiety,
Okay.
trouble sleeping, and in some cases, it can even cause heart problems.
Mm.
So it's all about finding that sweet spot, the right amount for your body.
So we're not trying to be wired all the time. We want to find that balance.
Exactly.
Now, we've talked a lot about ingredients, what to look for, what to avoid, but I'm curious about the bigger picture.
Yeah, how it all works together.
Yeah, like how do these supplements actually work inside our bodies? You mentioned metabolism earlier. I'd love to delve a little deeper into that. How does metabolism play into weight loss, and how can supplements affect it?
Okay, so metabolism in the simplest terms is basically how your body converts the food you eat into energy.
Okay.
And the faster your metabolism, the more calories you burn.
Even when you're just sitting around.
Exactly. It's like having a more efficient engine, right? Just burns fuel more quickly.
I like that analogy.
And there are certain ingredients that can actually give your metabolism a boost.
Oh, really?
Yeah, caffeine is a big one, as we discussed. It's a well-known metabolism booster. And green tea extract, with those catechins we talked about, also plays a role in increasing your metabolic rate.
So they're like little metabolic kickstarters.
Exactly.
Are there any other ingredients that work in a similar way?
Well, CLA, the fatty acid we discussed, might also contribute to a faster metabolism.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, although its primary mechanism seems to be more about reducing fat directly rather than directly speeding up your metabolic rate.
Yeah.
But it could play a role in both.
So it seems like these ingredients work in different ways, but they all contribute to the overall goal of burning more calories.
Precisely.
Now, let's say someone's primary goal is specifically targeting fat loss.
Okay, yeah.
Are there certain types of supplements that would be more helpful than others? Like, is there a specific category of supplements that are designed for that?
Yeah, actually, there are. Weight loss supplements are often categorized based on how they work, what their main mechanism of action is.
Okay.
And one category is what's called fat burners.
Fat burners. That sounds pretty straightforward.
Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. They're designed to, like the name suggests, increase your metabolism and help break down those fat stores you're carrying around.
So they're like turning up the heat on your fat-burning furnace?
Exactly. And they typically contain ingredients like caffeine, green tea extract, and some of those other thermogenic compounds we talked about.
The ones that get things fired up.
Right.
Now, what about people who struggle with portion control?
Oh, yeah, that's a big one for a lot of people.
Or maybe they're constantly battling cravings. Are there supplements that address those kinds of challenges?
Definitely. Another category is appetite suppressants.
Appetite suppressants, okay.
Yeah, and those aim to reduce your hunger and those pesky cravings, making it easier to stick to a calorie-controlled diet.
So it's like they're giving you an extra layer of willpower?
In a way, yeah. They help you feel more satisfied, less likely to overeat.
Now, I've also heard the term fat blockers. What exactly are those? Do they actually block fat?
They do, in a way. Fat blockers work by interfering with how your body absorbs fat from the food you eat.
Interesting.
So basically, you eat some fat, and the fat blocker prevents a portion of it from actually being digested and stored in your body.
So it's like they're intercepting the fat before it has a chance to settle in?
That's a great way to think about it. They often contain ingredients like chitosan, which basically binds to fat molecules in your digestive tract and escorts them right out.
Wow, that's pretty clever. So for someone who's really concerned about their fat intake, fat blockers could be a helpful tool.
Yeah, they can provide some peace of mind, but it's important to remember they're not a free pass to just eat all the fatty foods you want.
Right. You can't just undo a bad diet with a supplement.
Exactly. A healthy diet is still essential.
Okay, so let's talk about dosage and timing. Is it as simple as just taking a pill whenever you remember?
You know, dosage and timing are actually really important, both for getting the most out of the supplement
Okay.
and for minimizing any potential side effects. It's really important to follow the instructions on the supplement label carefully.
So we're reading the fine print.
Absolutely. And the reason is if you take too little, it might not be effective. But if you take too much, you could end up with some unwanted side effects. It's all about finding that sweet spot.
The Goldilocks zone of supplements.
Ex-
Now, what about timing? Does it matter when you take these things?
It can definitely make a difference. A lot of weight loss supplements work best when you take them before meals or before your workouts.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So if you take them before a meal, it can help curb your appetite, making it easier to stick to those healthy portion sizes. And if you take them before a workout, it can give you an extra boost of energy.
So you can push a little harder, burn a few more calories.
Exactly. It's all about strategic timing.
Now, we've talked a lot about how supplements can be this really helpful tool in our weight loss journey,
Definitely.
but I think it's important to zoom out a little bit.
Big picture thinking.
Yes, exactly. How do supplements fit into our overall approach to weight loss? What's the big picture?
Right. Well, it's crucial to remember that they're called supplements for a reason.
They're not the main event.
Exactly. They can help you along, but they can't do all the work for you.
So, what would you say is the foundation of healthy, sustainable weight loss? What's the bedrock?
I mean, it really comes down to two things: a balanced diet
Okay.
and regular exercise. Those are the non-negotiables. Those are what really drive sustainable weight loss.
The dynamic duo.
Exactly. And supplements can play a role. They can enhance your efforts, but they can't make up for a poor diet or a sedentary lifestyle.
So it's all about making those lifestyle changes that are going to support our health long term.
That's what it's all about.
We've touched on the difference between natural and synthetic ingredients earlier, but I'd love to dig a little deeper into the distinction between natural and synthetic supplements overall.
Okay, yeah, that's an important distinction.
What are the key differences, and how do those differences impact our choices?
So When you're looking at supplements, you'll often see both natural and synthetic options.
All right.
And the difference really boils down to their source.
Hmm.
Natural supplements, they come from whole foods,
Okay.
plants, things like that.
Got it.
Whereas synthetic supplements, they're created in a lab. They're trying to replicate the chemical structure of those natural compounds.
So it's like one is coming straight from nature, and the other one is a lab-created version.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And each type has its own advantages and disadvantages.
Okay.
Natural supplements are generally considered a bit safer.
Okay. Why is that?
Well, because they're closer to how they exist in nature.
They're not as processed, they're not as manipulated.
Exactly. They tend to be gentler on your body. However, the flip side is they might not be as potent,
Okay.
or they might take a little longer to produce results.
So it's kind of a slower, steadier approach?
Yeah, you could say that. Whereas synthetic supplements, they can be much more potent.
Okay.
And they might act faster because they're designed for your body to absorb them really quickly.
Got it.
But, and this is a big but, they could carry a higher risk of side effects.
Especially if they're not taken correctly or if they're not formulated well.
Right, exactly. So it's really a trade-off between gentleness and potency.
How do we decide which type is right for us?
It really depends on your individual needs and preferences.
Okay.
If you're looking for a more gentle approach, more natural supplements might be a better fit.
Okay.
But if you need something that's really going to pack a punch, you need fast results, synthetic supplements might be an option.
Okay.
But, and I can't emphasize this enough, proceed with caution if you're going that route.
Talk to your doctor. Do your research.
Absolutely.
Now, another question that I hear a lot is about long-term use of these supplements.
Yeah, that's a common one.
Is it safe to use them for a long time? Or should we be cycling them or taking breaks?
That's a really great question. And honestly, while some supplements are probably safe for extended use, it's generally a good idea to be cautious about using any supplement long-term.
Okay, what are some of the concerns there?
Well, one concern is that your body can actually adapt to the effects of certain supplements over time, so they might become less effective the longer you take them.
Oh, so it's like your body builds up a tolerance.
Exactly. Another concern is that with some supplements, we just don't have enough research yet to know what the long-term effects might be.
Right, the research might not be there yet.
Exactly. So it's always best to err on the side of caution. Talk to your doctor before you start any supplement, especially if you're thinking about taking it for a long time.
So we're checking in with our healthcare provider, getting their expert opinion.
Always a good idea.
I love how we're approaching this whole weight loss thing from a really holistic perspective. It's not just about the number on the scale, right?
Absolutely not.
It's about overall health and well-being.
It's about feeling good in your body, having energy, reducing your risk of chronic diseases.
Right. It's about taking care of ourselves from the inside out.
Exactly.
Now, with all this in mind, let's bring it back to the individual. How can someone choose a supplement that's really going to align with their unique weight loss goals and lifestyle?
Personalization is key when it comes to supplements.
Yeah.
What works for one person might not work for someone else.
Right. Everyone's different.
Exactly. You have to consider your individual needs, your preferences, your lifestyle.
So it's kind of like a choose your own adventure for weight loss.
I like that. It is. It's about finding what fits you best.
Now, once we've kind of narrowed down our choices, where do we go to actually buy these supplements?
Ah, that's important. Not all sources are created equal.
Right. There's got to be some good places and some not so good places.
Definitely. You want to buy your supplements from reputable sources to make sure you're getting a quality product and that it's safe.
So where should we be looking?
Reliable online platforms are a good bet.
Okay.
And reputable health stores. Look for brands that are transparent, clear ingredient lists.
Right.
Good customer reviews.
So we're doing our homework, checking those reviews like we talked about earlier.
Exactly. And be wary of anything that seems too good to be true.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Like, if the price is way lower than everywhere else, that's a red flag.
Huge red flag. It could be a counterfeit product. And that's a whole other can of worms.
Yeah, we want to make sure we're getting the real deal.
Absolutely.
So we're being savvy supplement shoppers armed with knowledge.
And a healthy dose of skepticism.
Exactly. This has been so insightful. I feel like I'm looking at supplements in a whole new light.
Me too. It's been a great conversation.
Well, I'm definitely feeling more informed. But we're not quite done yet, are we? We've got more to explore.
More to come.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm ready to keep unpacking all this supplement stuff. We've talked a lot about ingredients, what to look for, what to avoid.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
But one thing I'm really curious about, well, one area that I think is often misunderstood
Okay.
is this whole thing about fat loss versus weight loss.
Yeah, those terms get thrown around a lot.
I know I've definitely used them interchangeably before.
Yeah, most people do.
So, like, what's the real difference and why does it matter when we're talking about supplements?
That's a great question. So weight loss,
Okay.
that just means your overall body weight goes down.
Okay, so it could be anything.
Right. You could be losing water weight, you could be losing muscle mass, or you could be losing fat.
And fat loss is what we really want, right?
Yeah, in most cases, that's what people are aiming for when they're trying to improve their health and body composition.
So it's not just about seeing a smaller number on the scale, it's about what that number is actually made up of.
Exactly.
Now, can certain supplements actually help us target fat loss specifically, or are they all just about kind of general weight loss?
Well, some supplements are designed with fat loss in mind, like we talked about before.
Mm.
Things that boost metabolism, things that increase how much fat your body burns, things that block fat absorption.
Right.
All those mechanisms can contribute to a greater reduction in body fat specifically.
Okay. But even with those targeted supplements, we're not talking magic.
Right. You still have to do the work.
We still got to do the work. One thing I'm really fascinated by is the role of hormones in weight loss.
Oh, yeah. Hormones are key players.
They're so powerful.
They are.
They can influence our metabolism, but how do they actually affect our ability to lose weight, beyond just calories in, calories out?
Well, you got to think of hormones as these chemical messengers that controls so many different functions in your body.
Okay.
And when those hormones get out of balance, it can make weight loss a real uphill battle.
It's like our bodies have this internal communication system, and if the signals get crossed.
Exactly. Things go haywire.
But so which hormones are the big players when it comes to weight management? Which ones should we be paying attention to?
Okay, there are a few. Insulin, leptin, ghrelin, and thyroid hormones.
Okay, those are some big names. I've heard those names before. I'm not sure I could tell you exactly what each one does.
All right, let's break it down then.
Yeah, let's do it.
So insulin, that's produced by your pancreas,
Okay.
and it helps regulate your blood sugar levels.
Oh, okay. Blood sugar.
So when you eat carbs, right,
Yeah.
your blood sugar goes up.
Okay.
And insulin is there to help your cells absorb that glucose for energy.
Okay, so insulin is like the key that unlocks the door for glucose to enter our cells.
I like that. Yeah, key.
But if we keep bombarding those cells with too much sugar, it's like the lot gets sticky.
Yeah, exactly. And your cells can actually become resistant to insulin. And that's when you see problems with elevated blood sugar. And your body starts storing more fat.
Okay, that makes sense. What about leptin? What does leptin do?
So leptin, that's a hormone that's made by your fat cells.
Mm.
And its job is to tell your brain that you're full, you've had enough to eat.
Oh, it's like the I'm full signal.
Exactly. But here's the thing. As you gain weight and you have more fat cells, your body can actually become resistant to leptin.
Oh, no. So the signal gets weaker.
It does. You don't feel as full after a meal.
And then you're more likely to overeat.
Exactly.
So it's like a vicious cycle.
It can be, yeah.
Okay, what about ghrelin? You mentioned ghrelin.
Ghrelin, that's often called the hunger hormone.
Because it makes us feel hungry.
Yeah, it basically stimulates your appetite. So normally ghrelin levels go up before meals,
Okay.
and then they go down after you eat.
Right. So it's like our body's natural way of telling us, hey, it's time to fuel up.
Exactly. But, things like stress, lack of sleep, even certain things you eat can mess with your ghrelin production.
Oh, no. So we could end up feeling hungry even when we don't really need to eat.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's ghrelin. What was that last one?
Thyroid hormones.
Okay, thyroid hormones.
These come from your thyroid gland,
Okay.
and they play a big role in regulating your metabolism.
Ah, okay.
So they affect how quickly your body burns calories, how well it uses energy.
So if our thyroid hormones are low, our metabolism might slow down.
Exactly. And that makes it harder to lose weight.
So our thyroid hormones are kind of like the thermostat for our metabolism.
I like that. That's a good way to think about it.
If it's set too low, we're going to burn energy more slowly.
Exactly. And it's really amazing when you think about it. When all of these hormones are working properly, in balance, it makes a huge difference in how our bodies manage weight.
Okay. So can supplements help with any of this? Can they support hormonal balance for weight loss?
Well, lifestyle changes are really the most important thing.
Right. Diet, exercise, managing stress.
Exactly.
But can supplements play a supporting role?
They can. Certain supplements can provide some support, some of those adaptogenic herbs we talked about before.
Okay, like ashwagandha and rhodiola.
Right. Those have been shown to help regulate cortisol levels.
And cortisol is our stress hormone, right?
Exactly.
So it's like these adaptogens help us cope with stress better.
Yeah, they can help buffer the effects of stress on your body.
I've definitely noticed when I'm stressed out, I crave all the sugary things.
Oh, yeah, that's really common.
So managing stress can be a big part of managing weight.
It really can.
This is also interesting. I'm realizing how much is going on beneath the surface, you know?
Right, there's a lot happening behind the scenes.
It's not just about calories in, calories out. It's about understanding these complex interactions between our hormones and our body.
Absolutely.
But, with all this talk about hormones and supplements,
Yeah.
are there risks, potential downsides we should be aware of?
That's a good question. And yeah, I always say approach supplements with a healthy dose of caution.
Okay.
A lot of them are probably safe when you use them as directed,
Okay.
but there are definitely some potential risks to be aware of.
Okay. What are some of the things we should be looking out for?
Well, one thing is some supplements can interact with medications.
Oh, right. So if you're taking other medications.
Exactly. Some supplements can interfere with how those medications work, or vice versa.
So it's like they could clash with each other.
Yeah. So if you're taking any medications,
Okay.
it's super important to talk to your doctor or your pharmacist.
Right?
Make sure there are no potential interactions.
So communication is key.
Always.
Okay. What other risks?
Another thing is, just like with food allergies, some people can be allergic to certain ingredients in supplements.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so pay attention to how your body reacts.
Okay.
And if anything seems off,
Okay.
if you have any adverse effects, stop taking it.
Okay. So what are some common signs of an allergic reaction we should be on the lookout for?
Okay, so you might see skin rashes,
Okay.
itching, hives, swelling, difficulty breathing,
Hmm.
or you could have some gastrointestinal issues.
Okay. And if any of that happens,
Stop taking the supplement.
and if it's serious, call the doctor.
Exactly.
Okay. Good to know. Anything else?
Another big one is just the quality and purity of the supplements themselves.
Okay.
So the supplement industry, it's not as tightly regulated as the pharmaceutical industry.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So the quality and purity of those products can vary a lot from manufacturer to manufacturer.
So it's even more important to be careful about where you buy your supplements.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Stick to brands that you trust.
Mhm.
Look for companies that adhere to good manufacturing practices.
Okay.
Companies that have their products independently tested. You don't want to just go for the cheapest option.
Mhm.
Quality and safety should be top priorities.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Exactly.
One of the big questions that I hear a lot from people is, how do you know if a supplement is actually working?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Right. Like, how do we know if it's doing anything?
Yeah, it can be really hard to tell. Everyone responds differently.
Okay.
But I think the first thing is just set realistic expectations.
Right. These aren't miracle pills.
They're not. They can be a helpful tool,
Okay.
but they work best when you combine them with a healthy lifestyle.
So if you're taking supplements, but you're still eating whatever you want, not exercising.
Right, you're not going to see those amazing results.
Okay. So we're setting the stage for success first.
Exactly.
And then how do we track our progress? How do we know if things are moving in the right direction?
Well, once you've got those healthy habits in place, you can start paying attention to your body.
Okay.
See how you feel. You might notice subtle changes in your energy level.
Okay.
Maybe your appetite changes.
Okay.
Maybe you're not having as many cravings. You just feel a little different overall. It can be subtle, but those changes can be meaningful.
So we're really tuning in to our bodies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it can be helpful to keep a journal.
Oh, yeah. Track your progress.
Yeah, track what you're eating, your exercise, what supplements you're taking, and monitor your weight, how your clothes fit, how you feel, keep an eye on your energy levels, your mood, just your overall sense of well-being.
It's like we're becoming data detectives, gathering all this evidence.
Exactly. Trying to figure out, are these supplements making a difference?
Yes. I'm really enjoying this deep dive. I feel like I'm looking at this whole world of weight loss and supplements in a whole new light.
Oh, me too. It's been a great discussion.
It's not just about popping pills.
No.
It's about understanding our bodies, understanding how these things work.
Understanding the choices we make.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, you've definitely given me a lot to think about.
I'm glad to hear that.
We've covered so much today. We talked about ingredients, hormones, safety considerations, all sorts of
A
stuff.
lot of ground covered.
I feel much more equipped to navigate this world of supplements now.
That's great.
But before we wrap up, can I ask you one more question?
Sure, go.
Like, if you could give one piece of advice to someone who's just starting to explore weight loss supplements, what would it be?
That's a good one. I would say be discerning.
Okay.
Don't just believe everything you read.
Right.
Don't fall for those quick fixes or miracle promises.
Be skeptical.
Exactly. Be skeptical. Do your research.
Okay.
Choose wisely.
Mm.
And remember, supplements are just that. Supplements. They're there to support a healthy lifestyle.
Not to replace it.
Exactly.
That's a powerful reminder.
Yeah,
Well, folks, that wraps up this segment of our deep dive.
it does.
We've explored the fascinating world of hormones, we've delved into the potential risks of supplements, we've learned valuable tips for tracking our progress,
We have.
but we're not quite done yet. We have one more segment coming up where we'll tie it all together.
Put it all into practice.
Exactly. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into weight loss supplements.
Back for round 3.
We've talked about ingredients and safety and hormones, all that good stuff.
We really have covered it all, haven't we?
But now I think it's time to, make it real.
Okay, yeah, let's bring it down to earth a little.
See how this all actually plays out in people's, real weight loss journeys.
I agree. Love a good real-world example.
So let's say we have someone, let's call her Sarah. She's been working hard on her fitness, eats pretty healthy, but just can't seem to shake those last 10 pounds.
Oh yeah, classic plateau.
Hit that plateau. What kind of supplement strategy might work for her?
Well, for Sarah, she's already got the lifestyle piece down.
Right? She's doing the work.
So maybe a supplement that really targets her metabolism
Okay.
could be a good option. Something with green tea extract,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit of caffeine, maybe even CLA.
So just like a little extra oomph to get over that hump.
Exactly.
Okay, now let's switch gears. Let's say we have Mike. Mike tends to, overeat at night,
Oh, the late night snacker.
especially when he's stressed after work.
Totally.
What kind of supplement approach could be helpful for him?
An appetite suppressant could be a game changer for Mike.
Okay.
Something with glucomannan, we talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
It can really help you feel full and satisfied.
Yeah.
So, take it before dinner.
Yeah.
Might make those late night cravings a little easier to resist.
So it's giving him that extra tool to manage the cravings, even when stress is high.
Exactly.
Okay, let's do one more. Let's imagine someone, let's call her Jessica. She's generally pretty health conscious, but, worries about her fat intake, especially like when she's dining out or at social events. Doesn't always have control over, what's on the menu.
Yeah, I get that.
What could help her?
For Jessica, a fat blocker could be a good option. She could take it before those meals where she knows there's going to be, more fat on the menu.
Okay.
And it could help reduce how much fat her body actually absorbs.
Okay, so it's not a license to just eat all the fried foods, but
No, definitely not.
it could offer a little bit of, peace of mind
Right. A safety net, sort of.
in those situations where, healthy options are limited.
Exactly.
I love how we've taken all this information and really applied it.
Yeah, it's cool to see how it works in practice.
It shows how personalized this whole process can be.
Absolutely. Everyone's different. Everyone has different needs and goals.
And that's a great point. This whole conversation has really highlighted how important it is to be an informed consumer. We can't just blindly trust any product that's out there.
Oh, absolutely not. Do your research. Choose wisely.
Read those labels. It's like we've gone from being, totally lost in this sea of supplements
Overwhelmed by the choice.
to actually having like a compass and a map.
Yeah, you're in the driver's seat now.
So much more empowered.
That's the goal.
I feel like we've given our listener a really solid, starting point
I think so too.
for really navigating this whole world. They've got the knowledge, they've got the tools. Now it's time to put it all into practice.
Exactly.
And of course, there's always more to learn.
Always.
This is an evolving field, so it's important to stay curious and keep learning.
That's what it's all about. The more you know.
Knowledge is power.
It really is.
The more informed we are, the better choices we can make. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It really does. We hope you've enjoyed exploring this world with us, and until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.
I'll see you next time.